All right. Corley Moore, Firehouse Vigilance, weekly scrap, number 25. Not so weekly this week. We are coming back from a short hiatus, but we are back. Weekly scraps are back. And this week I am talking about why Firehouse Vigilance and where did it come from. So no guest this week. Strictly get stuck with me talking. And as always, I like to ask right out the get-go, where are you watching from? If you have a question to ask, please ask it. Hello, Chief Mercer has joined. Halligan Matt, hello, welcome to the show. Love it, El Apache. Yes, Louie. Sorry, I'm trying to wave at a few people here. So as always, where are you watching from? Please let me know if you're watching live. If not, leave it in the comments. If you have a question, please ask the question. I love to answer questions. And so with that being said, we got a lot going on in 2020. Still lining out guests, scheduling and things like that. We got Mark Von Oppena fully involved, talking to him, getting him on here. I love that guy. He's one of the inspirations for Firehouse Vigilance. Chief Scott Thompson from the Colony down in Texas. He's ready to come on. Just says, just give me a call. I'm ready to go. And that's what that guy always says. I've seen that guy twice give his presentation on the Functional Fire Company, and both times I cannot take notes fast enough. He's a genius when it comes to developing culture within a fire service. So if you haven't read his book, get it, read it. Can't wait to have him on. Of course, the other half of Fit to Fight Fire, Tom Johnson, we're going to get him on here. And then the other half of Firefighter Functional Fitness, Dan Kerrigan, also getting that going on. So that's what's coming up in 2020. Really excited about it. But from there, we're going into weekly scrap number 25. Why Firehouse Vigilance and where did it come from? And the reason I'm doing this scrap is because I had an article on the blog originally that kind of explained all of this. Like, where did it come from? Why did it start? What was the reasons behind it? And believe it or not, Russian hackers, and I say that kind of jokingly, but Russian hackers actually hijacked my website and redirected it to, I don't know, I say Russian because it was all Russian language that it redirected you to. And I couldn't get it back. And I basically ended up trying to fix it. And with my lack of technical know-how, I ended up crashing the entire website. And so I lost a lot of articles that had been written that weren't backed up, and including the original article that I wrote on why we did Firehouse Vigilance. So that's where it went. And that's the reason I'm doing this scrap today. So the big reason why Firehouse Vigilance exists is Chief Terry Scott, 37-year veteran, chief at Moore Fire Department. When I was filming his retirement video, he made a quote, and it's always stuck with me. And he said that the hardest battle you will ever fight is the fight against complacency. And it just stuck with me. And it just turned in my head, because this guy did 37 years and he was in the game all 37 years, all the way up to the day he retired. And he always said, when you quit learning, it's time to retire. And I actually saw him the other day and he said, hey, I'm retired now. I don't have to keep on learning. And it was a good time. But that was one of the things that really started the complacency. Like, that's the hardest battle you'll fight as a firefighter. And so, a little bit after that, I was reading one of Mark Von Oppen's blog. No, actually I saw Mark Von Oppen in Edmond when Brian Brush brought him in for the leadership symposium there. And he said something in there that whenever you are combating complacency, the only way you can combat complacency is to stay ever vigilant. And I'm paraphrasing him there. Not exactly sure if I got that right. But vigilance basically is our only defense against complacency. And so the two of those quotes kind of is where I started saying, I'm going to start doing something. And that's where Firehouse Vigilance was born from. The reason for the name was Mark Von Oppen and Terry Scott talking about that, and the never-ending fight against complacency. So that's where it came from and where it started. And if anybody that knows me knows I love to have projects and goals, and I'm kind of a dreamer who goes after crazy things and has these projects. I remember one time I was asking a firefighter that I was working with, I said, hey, let's start a blog. Let's start a podcast. And he would just shook his head, said, I don't want to be a part of a Corley project. And because that's what I do. I start projects and chase these dreams and these goals. And that's what Firehouse Vigilance is a project that I feel like I can give to. And I love reading. If you watch this, you know I love reading. You know I love sharing knowledge. And so that's all it originally was I was going to put this blog up and just kind of condense stuff I'd read. Not really my original thoughts, just kind of condensations of of other people's works and books that I had absorbed and put them out there for firefighters to absorb and continue that fight against complacency. Basically, was the whole point of it, and that's where it started. And then the memes, the motivational posts on Instagram kind of took off, and those of you've probably seen them, and it's snowballed from there, and that's where it's at right now as far as Firehouse Vigilance, and it began to pick up steam, especially on Instagram, and so that all led to the Vigilant Creed. And I don't know how many people are aware of the Vigilant Creed. I'm going to talk about this for a minute because, again, if you know me, you know I have my projects, my goals, my dreams. And one of them is that there is a Firehouse Vigilant in every state of America. That was the original goal when I started it. And we are at 37 states and missing 13 states. So basically, when I started this, I don't know if a lot of people just didn't understand what it was, but it is nothing but a vow of accountability. That's all it is. You read it, you sign it. That's all it takes to join. Sign it. Take a picture holding yourself signing it. The cooler the picture, the better, because I like to post them on Instagram. So I've had them sent to me with guys on aerials, guys in their bunker gear, guys with American flags. M. Holland up in the Pacific Northwest. That guy did one where he did the split right down the middle, half his face in just a station uniform, the other half inside his SCBA. It's one of the coolest pictures. I repost it all the time. But I love the way firefighters get creative, signing it and posting it. But that's all you have to do. Sign it, send a picture of you signing it, and you're joining the Vigilant. And I put you in the database on the wall. You get your Vigilant ID number, a color of the map with your state, and boom. You are a member of the Vigilant, and that will get us closer to the goal of every state in America being a member of the Vigilant Creed. And there is no money to join. It's not a money-making thing. I've been accused of it being a participation trophy. I've been accused of it being a money-making scam. The only thing that I even sell is these tags that I don't know if I can get close enough to see it, but basically it's the Creed in a nutshell on a tag, symbol on one side. And I use it myself when I'm in the gym and I don't want to do that last set, when just as a level of accountability to the Creed. We do this for others. Push, train, learn. Master ourselves. Never easy. Never quit. That's the Creed in a nutshell. And of course, there's a lot more to it that really melts it out. And I spent a lot of time thinking about what does it mean to be a firefighter and everything. So if you get a chance, go to firehousevigilance.com. Look at the Creed. If it interests you, print it out. And take a picture of yourself holding that signed one. Again, the cooler the picture, the better. So that's kind of a little bit about the Vigilant Creed. In fact, 13 states have not yet joined. So if you guys know firefighters in these states, Arizona, Wyoming, North Dakota, Minnesota, Virginia, Vermont, New Hampshire, Delaware, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and then Hawaii and Alaska. So those 13 states are the only ones who have yet to join. So if you get a chance, what's up, DJ, V, Joe? Hello. If you get a chance, you know someone in those states. I did. If you get a chance in those states, please let them know, man. Join the Vigilant Creed. Let's get this there. Let's get this, because after I hit my original goal of 50 states, I really want to push to something else, like first state that gets 100 to join, or 50, or whatever the number may be. So anyway, that's it. The Vigilant Creed. I'm very proud of it. Again, it's one of my crazy projects, my visions to get so many people to join. And so that was the second part of Firehouse Vigilance that kind of took off and is growing constantly. And then the last thing is the weekly scrap, which you are currently watching. And I got to give credit to my wife, because she's the one who said, why don't you just do a Facebook Live? And originally that's where it was on Facebook, but I had a little trouble with their getting guests to come on Facebook. Their split screen really is tough to use. So I started doing it on Instagram, and that's where it really took off. At first, it was just me talking to you guys like it is today. It's kind of, but then because of Lieutenant Court Smith in Oklahoma City's training, he came on to do a guest spot, and that is what really launched the scrap. Because from there, I started asking other people in the fire service, other fire service leaders throughout the country, to come on and talk about things that were near and dear to their hearts and share their message. And a lot of them have taken their time to do that, and I'm extremely humbled that they do so. And I'm very proud of all of them that have come on, and I look forward to the ones that are coming in the future. So, long-winded story short, that is the history of Firehouse Vigilance. I love the constant motivation you guys show to the fire service, and it helps me drive every day, and I'll continue to do that just from the motivation. So thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, man. Absolutely. That is the goal, man, is to motivate and arm people for that never-ending fight against complacency, man. If it gets you to do one extra set, if it gets you to eat one extra healthy meal, if it gets you to spend an extra 30 minutes in the books reading about tactics or a line of duty death or learning a lesson, man, it is worth it. And so that is what Firehouse Vigilance is all about, is motivating people in that never-ending fight against complacency. So all that being said, I got everything covered I was going to cover. Weekly Scrap, talked about it. What's coming up in the future. So always, in the Weekly Scrap, I try to talk about a book. Usually, I let the guest do it. Today, no guest. You're stuck with me. So, It's Your Ship, Michael Abrashoff. I actually have like a third of this book to go. You can see where I'm stuck at, or not stuck, but where I've paused at right now. But amazing book. I'm so impressed with it already. The company officers on my shift are all reading this book, and we're going to get together, have dinner, and discuss this book. That's how good it is. And but one of the really cool things, and one of the reasons I wanted to share this book, was right here. Station 2 crew on my shift actually went and had these stickers made, put in here. Every one of the guys on the crew signed it. And of course, the title of the book is Management Techniques from the Best Damn Ship in the Navy. And of course, they put in here the best damn crew at the MFD, which they firmly believe they are. And I hope every crew feels that way. And then the best part is, I mean, besides the personalization of it from a crew, is he actually went to the Texas Leadership Symposium where Abrashoff was the keynote speaker, and had him sign the book for me. So, very sentimental book already to me. So, but if you get a chance to read it, I don't know of another book that is as powerful in its advice on empowerment and how to turn subordinates into empowered, decision-making, action-taking people. It is good, and it's not just theory. This guy did it to turn one of the worst ships in the Navy into, hands down, the best ship in the Navy. And so in the Benfold. So if you get a chance, pick up the book, Abrashoff's It's Your Ship. You will not regret it. So I wanted to share that. So that's everything I got for you today. Guests coming up, again, Mark Von Oppen, Chief Scott Thompson, Dan Kerrigan, and Tom Johnson. All those guys, plus more guys I'm reaching out to. If you guys know somebody that needs to be on the scrap, hit me up, firehousevigilance@gmail.com, or on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Hit me up on any of them, and I will reach out to them. There should be a new article coming out from Crew First Culture. I think it's going to be published on Firehouse Vigilance this Sunday or Monday, and it is all about the alpha wolf pack mentality, and I don't want to give away too much. It's a great little article from Crew First Culture, and so I'm excited to publish that. And other than that, man, thank you guys for watching the Weekly Scrap. Number 25. Next week we'll be back with a guest, so you don't have to listen to me for the entire time. And please, please, please hit me up with questions, comments, and I hope the tone stays silent for you unless it's burning, guys. Stay safe out there.